demand model is a curve that shows the different equilibrium levels of expenditures on domestic output at different price levels.
Aggregate demand model is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded.
Shifts in aggregate demand can be caused by consumer wealth, consumer expectations, household consumptions, and taxes.
Interest rates, technology, national income abroad, exchange rates, and number of consumers can also cause a shift in aggregate demand.
For example, the government has decreased taxes, allowing households to spend more. This rightward shift would increase price levels and real GDP. This is an example of demand pull inflation. Demand pull inflation is caused by an increasing demand for output and spending more than the economy's capacity to produce.
The excess demand increases the prices of the limited real output, so prices rise.
Demand pull inflation is consumer driven and continues until excess spending stops.
Aggregate supply model is a total of supply of goods and services that firms are willing to produce within a certain time period.
The aggregate supply model shows a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Shifts in aggregate supply can be caused by resources such as land, labor, and capital, entrepreneurial ability, market power, and subsidies. Government regulation, future expectations, technology, prices of complementary and subsidized goods can also affect the aggregate supply. For example, the cost of productions for Yogurtland is rising alarmingly. This leftward shift would increase price levels and decrease real GDP. This is an example of cost push inflation. Cost push inflation causes a decrease in aggregate supply. This is an example of inflation caused by rising costs of productions. Per unit production costs are total input costs divided by units of output. When per unit production rises, the willingness of companies to sell at the current price level is reduced. This causes supply to decrease and price levels to increase. Stagflation is the slow economic growth combined with an undesirably high rate of inflation. Stagflation is usually caused by a decrease in supply and a supply-side shock. Stagflation only refers to the shift in the AS curve, not the AD curve. The 1970s consisted of inflation and unemployment rate when oil prices were rising. This is an example of stagflation.